Hi, welcome to week 2 of your Math for the Medical Environment course. This week we are going to be covering section 3. Section 3 is all about decimal fractions. And although that may sound a little intimidating because we all love fractions, right? It really is going to be not too difficult for you, I believe. So when they talk about decimal fractions in this particular textbook, what they're referring to is simply decimals. So let's take a look at what makes up a decimal fraction in their terms. A decimal fraction, again, is simply a decimal number where you have a whole number piece, which is this piece right here. Then you have the decimal point, and then you have the fractional piece, which is this piece to the right of the decimal point. So when we talk about a decimal fraction, all we're talking about is numbers that include decimals. So if you have a decimal point and numbers after it, that's a decimal fraction. So each section of this particular unit is going to be broken up. There's a section on addition. And how to round decimal fractions. Make sure that you pay special attention to how to round fractions. You're going to want to make sure that you look to the right of the digit that you're wanting to round to, and then decide if that number is less than 5. If so, the number you're wanting to round stays the same. If the number to the right is more than 5, the number that you're trying to round goes up by 1. And the rest just drop off in either case. So make sure that you're looking at some of the examples on rounding when you're working on this first piece. Now, it's going to go ahead and show you in this particular section on how to line up the decimals so that you can add them by hand. Now, know that for the most part, you really should be using your calculator to do these problems. So when you get into the practical problems, knowing that you're going to add them together, show me this piece on your homework. So show me that you're adding them together, show me an equal sign, and show me this particular final answer. You do not have to show lining the decimals up and all of that, because I really prefer that you use your calculator for these. That's what we want to get to. We want to get to the point where you are efficiently using your calculator. So let's look at that first example on this PowerPoint. We have 5 infants. They give you the weight of each infant when they were born during that 1 8-hour shift. They want to know what's the total weight. So when we look for something like a total, that means we're going to add those things together. So although the problem on the PowerPoint is going to show you how to line up those decimals and add them all together, I want you to just show the addition and use your calculator. You don't have to show that, carrying the 1 and all of that stuff. So show me the operation that you're using, show me that you're doing it with your calculator, and you're good to go. Now you're also going to be working on subtraction of decimal fractions. So same thing with this one. You're going to show me the work by just showing what operation you're using and using your calculator. So they're going to show you how to line up the decimals and borrow and all that good stuff. But again, focus on these practical problems. Focus on the key words. This particular problem asks for the decrease in specific gravity. So looking at a decrease, we're going to subtract. So make sure you're looking for keywords, knowing which operation to use, and then use the calculator to do that operation. That's the key on this particular section. You're going to also look at multiplication of fractions, decimal fractions. So again, you don't have to show the, how to multiply and then count over to put your decimal in. Use your calculator. And then of course unit 15 or 14 is on division of those decimals. So again, not needing to show the long way, using your calculator. And then probably one of the more important parts of this chapter is the decimal and common fraction equivalents. So what you're going to be learning here is, what is 1/2 as a decimal? Hopefully we all know that it's 0.5. For example, what is 3/4 as a decimal? 3/4 is 0.75. So here you go. Here's a problem where we have an infant weighing 8 3/4 pounds, and then we have another infant who weighs 2.2 pounds. We want to know, we want to multiply these two things together because it says 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. How much does this infant weigh? We want to multiply them together, but one's a fraction, one's a decimal. So changing this to 8.75 pounds is going to be key to being able to go on and finish the problem. So again, you don't have to actually change 3/4 to a decimal by hand going forward. We want you to learn these common fractions so that you can do them in your head and be able to use them. And then last but not least, the last section of this particular group is, combined operations. So you're going to be looking at using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division all at the same time. So if you have any problems or questions this week, please make sure that you reach out to me, and hope you have a great week.